live with the butterflies. Mesmerized, mesmerized by you.
Hey you guys, Happy New Year, Happy 2026, and welcome back to another episode of Diary of a Real Estate Mom. And since we're stepping into a new year, today felt like the perfect time to talk about focus, okay? Not hustle focus, not grind focus, but the kind of focus that protects your peace, because one thing I've learned the hard way is everything that asks for your attention does not deserve your energy, okay? Distraction doesn't always come dressed up as chaos. Sometimes it comes quiet. Sometimes it comes disguised as old conversations, familiar people, unnecessary explanations, scrolling when you're really tired, revisiting things that already showed you who and what they were the first time, okay? And before you know it, you look up and your focus is gone. And for a long time, I thought my issue was that I wasn't disciplined enough, that I needed to just lock in a little harder, that I just needed more motivation. But what I realized is a lot of my exhaustion wasn't from doing too much. It was from feeding too many things that didn't deserve a seat at my table. Not everything deserves access to you. Not everything deserves a response. Not everything deserves your reaction. Some things only survive in your life because you keep feeding them. And see, this season, I made a quiet decision. If it drains me, if it distracts me, or if it pulls me away from who I'm becoming, I starve it. I stop feeding it. No big announcements, no long explanations, just a subtle shift in what I pour into. Because focus isn't about ignoring everything around you. It's about choosing what you give life to. I had to start asking myself, is this aligned with where I'm going? Is this helping me grow? Is this strengthening me or scattering me? And if the answer was no, I had to be okay with letting it starve. Not out of bitterness, not out of ego, but out of respect for the life that I'm building. And see, here's something else I learned. Distraction isn't always a temptation. Sometimes it's a trauma response. Sometimes it's what we reach for when things feel overwhelming. Sometimes it's what we use to avoid sitting with what's real. So, I had to get honest about what I was using as an escape. What I was engaging with to avoid my own stillness. What I was feeding instead of facing. And child, that part was not cute, okay? But it was necessary because I can't ask for clarity while feeding confusion. I can't ask for peace while feeding chaos. And I can't ask for alignment while still feeding what keeps pulling me off my path. So this year, my focus looks a little different. It looks like choosing what's necessary over what's noisy. It looks like choosing consistency over impulse. It looks like choosing growth over comfort. It looks like choosing peace over reaction. Not perfectly, not always gracefully, but intentionally. And I won't lie, some of the things you stop feeding will try even harder to get your attention. And I'll be real, they get louder before they get quiet. But eventually, what you don't feed will lose its power. So, if you're in a season right now where you feel scattered, you feel pulled in different directions, you're mentally tired, but not physically doing that much, it might not be that you need more discipline. You might just need to stop feeding the distraction. So, sis, let me ask you this. What is one thing that you've been giving too much energy to lately? Because focus doesn't find itself. It's protected. Now, if this episode spoke to you, go ahead, like this video, subscribe to the channel. Make sure you turn on your notifications so you don't miss next week's episode. And make sure you share this with another woman who's learning how to guard her attention too. And for my agents and my business moms, make sure you check out the description below for my free "What Agent Type Are You?" personality quiz. And make sure you take that. It'll show you how you handle certain situations, how you deal with your distractions, and what type of support you can use to help you stay focused. Well, all right, sis, that's it for today's episode. If you stayed till the end, I truly, truly, truly appreciate you. Thank you for tuning in, and I will see you on the next one. Bye.